Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this video is going to be about, um, I guess, quality of life updates that have a good happy medium that the game probably should at least poll to see if they should be added or not. And there's a lot of discussion going on about certain things and what's viable, what's not viable, and XP rates, which probably should be the starting point of this video. So, as of current, when you select your game mode, it doesn't decide your total XP rate gain for every skill you do, which seems a little bit odd to me because it really wouldn't be a viable thing to select a higher XP rate because then your skills are going to be just all out of whack. You're going to have a really high combat and you're going to be training on shit slayer monsters with shit drops. It honestly wouldn't really be. I just wouldn't see the point, which I mean, that's just me. But anyway. So, XP rates. In the Discord chat, a lot of different ideas for XP rates. Like, I've seen backwards ladder, and I mean, this one person wanted like you to start out like 50 times and then work down to like one times from 90 to 99, which just is absolutely irate in my opinion. I think it's an absolutely stupid idea. Um, the normal ladder system, I think, would work. I think it's plausible, but it needs to have a cap. And I mean, 10 times the XP rate cap seems fine with me. Or I mean, 15 times at the max, because 10 times is fast. I used to play Kratos, and I played as an Iron Man, which had a 10-time XP rate, and I was flying through the levels pretty healthily, and I was working a full-time job. So I didn't have any trouble with it. And I was able to, go around and do other stuff in my life at the time too. So I wasn't being hogged into a private server trying to grind out levels. I thought it was a very comfortable XP rate 10 times. So that pretty much covers that discussion about XP rates. I mean, I could definitely see a plausible reason for a boost. 5 times is very slow, especially for every XP rate mode. It just doesn't seem logical in my opinion. I don't see it being very logical at all. It just doesn't make any sense to choose an XP mode just for combat. Combat's fast. I mean, you can AFK train combat. You can pop up a video or a movie, YouTube videos, listen to music, just chill out and sit there and fight aggressive NPCs. Click every now and then so you don't time out. So, I mean, it's pretty easy. So I don't really see the point in having a boost. This just adds extra categories and high scores that don't need to be there for no reason because everyone's working just as hard to get their skills up. Just not combat, which is stupid. So, on to the next thing. Defender drop rate while I'm sitting here in the Warriors Guild. Absolutely atrocious. It is so bad. Oh, look at that. Speaking of that, I just finally got the Iron Defender. That's funny. Looky there. Number 2. Almost at 2k tokens wasted. It's pretty slow. It takes about 2 hours to get a Rune Defender on RuneScape, and it could take up to 4 hours to get the Dragon. It really depends on your luck, but it's actually easier to get a Dragon Defender than a Rune Defender. I believe it's like 1 in 75 instead of 1 in 100. But RuneScape uses a different RNG system than any private server does out there, because we don't have access to the source code. We don't know what kind of random number generator they're using. Pseudo random generators are all made differently. It could be based on time with a variable cap of numbers, date, anything. It could drastically be anything, and sort of a lot of pseudo random generators are based off of time. Especially Java's is based off of time because it really allows for the most random numbers. It's absolutely unpredictable. So it's a very good way of doing it, which makes it very drastically hard to predict when you could get something, which makes it very random. I mean, technically, there's no such thing as random. So that's that. Um, so yeah, just drop rates need to be fixed there. On to the next one is guild boosts. Especially in the fishing guild. Fishing sharks is slow. especially at 90, which has been complained about specifically. Um, all the guilds in RuneScape have a 7 plus boost that's invisible, which means you can boost up with a potion too to get an extra advantage if you so choose. Now, a 7 plus invisible boost on both the mining and fishing guild I propose would be a very good idea. This would help get coal into the game faster as well as higher level food. So I think that's a pretty happy medium idea. I don't think it's overpowering. We're not, you know, decreasing the rate in which you catch fish just so it would make it easier or anything like that. Adding a static fishing spot, which was the idea, which shouldn't be there because then you could literally just auto it, which would not be a good idea, especially if we don't have anything to catch anything like that, which I'm sure we don't. Most private servers don't go into things like that. I mean, they could have like mouse tracer logs or something, but I mean, that's all separate from this. It's just a safety prevention thing, not having static fishing spots, which I don't approve of at all. So, on to the next thing. Deposit boxes, bank chests. The Crafting Guild does have a bank chest, and I am still sitting in here after I got my Iron Defender. It's pretty stupid because I'm just going to get another Iron Defender. I don't want that. So let's waste some more time. Go bank first. Anyways, my throat is hoarse right now. So, yeah, Crafting Guild. In OSRS, they added a bank chest. This is a bank chest, not a deposit box. It's something very specific that was being discussed about. It is 100% definitely a bank chest. And to use this bank chest, it requires you to complete the Elite Falador Diary. We don't have an Elite Falador Diary. We have a Hard Diary, which is all fine and dandy. So let's take a look at that right now to see if it's actually something that should be looked at to even be a requirement. Where are we at? Okay. Well, we don't have a Falador task. So, there you go. That answers that question right there. There should be no requirement to do an achievement diary for it. So, yeah. But I definitely think it should be there. It definitely would help a lot with the quality of life because there's no banks anywhere near there. So anything you make, you have to lug all the way home and then walk all the way back to the crafting guild. So I don't really see that as a viable means. It seems like it'd be slow, and I haven't really been there yet. I honestly just did all my crafting with stuff I have sitting in my bank. So we'll see what happens there. That's definitely something probably should be pulled. And while I'm sitting here hovering over this, your membership certificates you get from the vote shop don't work. You cannot do anything with them, so I wasted 7 vote points on it. So that being said, that does not work. I do not need that in my inventory anymore. Definitely don't need elking runes for Cyclopses because they don't drop anything to elk other than rune daggers, which I could just bring down with me later. Alright, so on to the next thing. A deposit box in the rune essence mine. I think this would be extremely viable because getting rune essence is slow. It's going to make training rune crafting a freaking nightmare, especially considering that the ones you get out of the casket aren't even a worthwhile amount. 100 rune essence is nothing. It's absolutely nothing, and won't last more than 4 trips. And it probably would take you just as long to get, I don't know, probably 100 as it would to be to get one out of a chest. So you'd actually be able to mine more than you'd be able to get out of a chest. So mining is the only viable option right now. We don't have Zulrah to drop massive amounts of rune essence for us, so we can just grind out Zulrah and get all those skilling goodies that we need to get high rune crafting levels, because runes are something that's definitely needed in the game, and buying them is still not viable because it costs a lot of money. I mean, our runes themselves are probably peaking 400 in the stores, and some of them I think they're like around like 380. So I think that would definitely be a viable happy medium for people who want to rune craft. There are some pretty fast ways to do rune crafting. I don't have any complaints about where the abyss is located in Edgeville, the normal walking across the hole in the wilderness to get there. We don't need any Zamorak mage at home or anything, so I find that to be perfectly happy. Okay. Harpsack. I think a harpsack would be a great addition to the game, especially for people doing Slayer. Um, I get lots of herb drops, which sometimes I just pass them over because it's not worth going to the bank. This is gonna make Herbalore a nightmare for people, especially people who don't like farming. Farming is a slow skill, especially seeing as we don't have things like Tithel farming, and pretty much just have to get lucky with getting tree seeds out of caskets to speed up farming twofold. So that's one thing I think we should look into adding to the game. I think it would be very helpful for people who do Slayer, and it would also help get potions into the game way faster, especially potions we really need, like anti-fires, anti-poison prayer potions, super restores, Saradomin brews, which are required to do Jad. We're gonna have to wait till someone to get really high Herbalore, just so we can do Jad to get a fire cape. So, I think that's something that should definitely be looked into. It would be really helpful. Um, Action All. A lot of skills don't have an Action All button when you get tasked with the chat box dialogue. Like, some of them go up to 10, some of them go to 5. Specifically, cooking and fletching, I think, are the main ones that need to be fixed. Smithing you can leave alone, other than maybe the bars might be a good idea, but other than that, um, I still don't really think it matters at that point, because bars you need to use coal. You're not going to be making the same thing with like chest plates. Once you start making chest plates when you're smithing, you're just not going to need it. So that's really that. I already covered member certificates. It's on my list. I mean, tell me what you guys think. We'll have a good discussion about this. See what is right for the game. What we should really do. What we should decide to make this game more appealing to the general people who play private servers. So, um, that's really all I have to say for right now. I'll talk to you guys later.